Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Doing a rapid fire this week, so let's hit it.
What happened to him?
Adrian's dead.
Listen, you're getting your freedom back, okay?
He said that wherever I went, he would find me. Walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him. He has figured out a way to be invisible.
I've seen worse, but I've definitely seen better. There's only a few positives that I can give this movie. One, the dedicated performance from Elizabeth Moss. She really throws herself into her character's paranoia, both when it's justified and not. I will even give a little bit of credit to the choreography. While certain situations during Cecilia being attacked can look a little silly as she randomly flails at nothing, it does bounce back around when she's hovering, getting thrown or pulled around, she's smashing plates against nothing. That really helped certain scenes. But other than that, it has a ton of tropes that frustrated me like crazy. I hate characters in horror films that don't adapt to their situation. If you felt like an invisible person was trying to kill you, you wouldn't be trying to convince people around you of that because that sort of thing sounds crazy. You need to fight and take care of the situation yourself, or manipulate your surroundings to offer proof and have a third party see the invisible person for themselves. To make matters worse, she gives a speech about how he took everything from her, but doesn't realize that there's a great deal more that he can take. It's lazy-ass writing that takes me right out of the story and does absolutely nothing to prevent further damage to her life. There's a whole lot more to bitch about, but this is supposed to be on the shorter end, so... yeah, overall, I can appreciate some things that it does. Like, there's not a lot of cheap jump scares, but it definitely flirts with silliness. I can say that it has elements of cleverness, but it doesn't do enough to set itself apart from other good remakes. My honest rating for The Invisible Man, a 3 out of 5.
If you truly want to leave Clay, and your first step is admitting what you've done.
Am I understanding that you would like a room for that man? You know who that man is?
I know him as a brother in Christ.
And do it, Reverend.
How did you let that man in this house?
You're out of order, Klansman.
I ain't no Klansman no more. But maybe one day y'all can forgive me.
Hey, that's more like it. Shit's getting good now. I think it's important to note that the story takes its sweet-ass time officially kicking off, as it doesn't officially start until well after the 1 hour mark. While I can see some folks out there saying that it's slow-paced, I say that the time is not ill-spent. The movie knows it has to show the ins and outs of a man in the Klan and how ingrained he is in that way of thinking, and the slow steps taken toward how Mike Burden turns his life around. It also doesn't shy away from showing that it wasn't a smooth process, met with opposition from those he left behind and those who haven't forgotten his past crimes. Garrett Hedlund has such great physicality as Mike, Andrea Riseborough as Judy is so likable, and Forrest Whitaker is his usual powerhouse self, making for a thoroughly enjoyable and engaging watch. While I can certainly guess where the hate for this movie comes from, I can't say that I agree with the scores that I've been seeing. Sure, I'm not going to call it one of the great redemption stories ever put out there, but it's still a really good film to me. Great acting, a story that may take its time, but knows how to utilize that time, and has a pretty damn satisfying ending. I say if you're a sucker for stories about redemption, give this a watch and see what you think. My honest rating for Burden, a strong 4 out of 5.
A skąd jesteś?
Księdzem jestem.
Goła Wojciech.
Ksiądz Tomasz.
Myślę, kto mógłby mnie zastąpić.
No ale co, msze i wszystko?
I nie tylko.
Żadne seminarium nie przyjmiecie z wyrokiem. Proboszcz, wróć, bo ja naprawdę...
At long last, the Oscar nominee makes its way to theaters. A theater. Either way, I wish this came out earlier because it's so friggin' good. I will say that the only negative that I have with the flick is Daniel's lie that kicks the entire movie off. There's no rhyme or reason why he tells Eliza that he's a priest. It's literally a lie that he just states out of nowhere. There's no lead into it, no prompt, nothing. But I'm a firm believer in if you're gonna make your mistakes, make them in the beginning and make the rest of the movie fantastic. And that's what it does. Daniel is clever in how he manages to fool everyone into believing that he's a true priest, but also gets wrapped up in the mystery of the town and the kids that died in a fatal crash. What I find most compelling is that in any other story, Daniel's character would be lying to get something out of these people, stealing their church donations and what have you, all as a scam. But that's not the case here. He genuinely wanted to be someone in the holy community and has been given an opportunity to do so and does want to help those around him. Bartosz Bolinia is extraordinarily charming, funny, and delivers some truly wonderful standout scenes and carries the film very well. It's no wonder why this movie got an Oscar nom, but yeah, it's no Parasite. But make no mistake, if you haven't seen this, I highly recommend it. It's a home run of a film that'll hit you right in the feels. My honest rating for Corpus Christi, a 5 out of 5.
He just loves money.
He paid himself and his wife £1.2 billion.
This is for all of you. No, not literally, but I mean, thank you.
It was a parasite.
It's classic tax avoidance.
Go away! Look at that. You can't buy a view like that. Oh, wait, no, I have. How bad is it?
No one reads the Mail online. It's cleavage clickbait.
Yeah, except I'm the tit this time.
I wasn't hearing many good things about this. I was right to be cautious. It's not good. It's touted as a satire of rich people, but where's the joke? Where's the commentary? That it's highly unlikely that a rich person could so successfully and so frequently be able to scam out entire businesses at a fraction of their selling cost? It's fiction, so anyone could get away with that. Whatever this movie was supposed to be, all I saw was a bunch of rich people enjoying being rich and generally being obnoxious and awful to those not in their social class. If that wasn't bad enough, I lost count over how many scenes were flashbacks to when Richard McCready was younger, and nearly all of them were pointless. Once, sure, to give some context as to why Richard is the way he is, but not over and over throughout the course of the movie, adding nothing to the overall quote-unquote narrative. Most of these characters are annoying, and those that are kinda decent only get screen time toward the tail end of the movie. Looking at you, Danita Go-Hill as Amanda. Way too talented for this movie. That's the biggest crime here. Obviously talented actors, but are given annoying-ass characters to play or are severely underutilized, resulting in a really lackluster film with seemingly no direction. I may have liked one or two gags here and there, but for the most part, this is a total pass. My honest rating for Greed, a weak 3 out of 5.
Remember the voice in your head? The one that said, "Sneak away."
Crazy! Wendy, wait!
Here is the place it came from.
So began the legend of Peter, the boy who would not grow up. Want to fly? We can fly. Really fly? Fly!
It's still early on in 2020, but I'm already declaring this as one of my favorite films of the year. My pitch for this movie is Florida Project meets Peter Pan. The acting is absolutely stellar from the young cast. The writing perfectly blends exactly how kids talk with more mature overtones, and seriously had some great lines. There's a simplicity to the writing, yet can be surprisingly deep, especially with how Peter is written. It's like even though he's a kid, it's clear that he's been a kid for a very long time, and seems to have developed this awareness of time affecting him like aging should, but has staved it off, completely in denial of growing up and avoiding it as much as possible. I love this version of Neverland and the rules that the story gives it. Aging is possible, but only if you have negative thoughts. The more you doubt the power of the island, the older you get, as demonstrated by Buzzo, as well as the other adults on the island who have their own agenda and attempt to find a way to turn back into kids. There's a whole lot of symbolism and circumstances that these characters face and can be interpreted in a number of ways, and sometimes not giving all of the answers, which made the experience of watching this all the more enjoyable. I won't lie, I kinda cried. Wonderfully intense acting, beautiful cinematography, that fuck amazing score by Dan Romer. I am completely enamored with this movie, which kind of puts me in the minority as it's getting a critical thrashing. I won't pretend to know where the hate is coming from. I haven't exactly looked into it, but honestly, I really love it. This gets my highest endorsement. If you see this playing in theaters, I definitely say check it out. My honest rating for Wendy, a 5 out of 5.
Who is Gene Seberg?
Vietnam, the oppression of black people in America. It's the same disgusting racism. The revolution needs movie stars.
Who's that? Some actress. Just grabbing some free publicity.
Hello? Hello? They've tapped our phones. They're listening. I can hear these little clicks on the line. I think it's the government. Woman has her secrets.
I don't know how to feel about this one. I wanted to say that it's unfocused. Is it about this affair that Gene Seberg had with this revolutionary? Or is it about her paranoia of the government spying on her? That doesn't feel like that's the problem, as these two events are connected in Seberg's life, with what little research I did after seeing this. It would make sense that this movie would take its time to flesh out these respective moments. But then it hit me. They're fleshed out, but not in any meaningful way. Gene's relationship with Hakeem is spontaneous, happening within a matter of minutes. Zero chemistry. Because this sets up a lot of future conflict that never feels organic, it just makes everything else seem like an overreaction or even melodrama. There's even hints that maybe Agent Jack Solomon is obsessing over Gene as he watches her movies in his downtime. It's more creepy than anything, but he's supposed to be concerned about her well-being. It's just not well directed and ultimately makes no sense. I give credit that Kristen Stewart is trying her absolute best to make this work. In fact, the acting as a whole is really what saves the movie. But overall, it's just a lot of technical stuff that brings it down. Funky writing, directing, characterizations. It feels like it's suffering from a case of squandered potential. My honest rating for Seberg, a weak 3 out of 5. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Hope to see you soon.